I'm Mr. Jewett.
I'm Mr. Decker. We have
And we're here.
a slightly different style episode of the Jewett and Decker History Hour today because we've realized that if we continue making videos at the pace we're releasing assignments, we are going to make the videos go beyond what our assignments are covering.
Yeah, because this week you students are going ahead and starting a writing lesson where you guys are going to be talking and putting yourself in the perspective of someone in the Great Depression.
Right. So the whole idea, it's a narrative writing assignment, which sounds a lot scarier than it is. Basically, you actually get to use I statements. So congratulations. I finally gave you an assignment where you're allowed to use I, me, you, and we, and you're going to write a narrative piece in the perspective of an affected group during the Great Depression.
Right, and we've talked about two specific groups, so that would kind of help you to look back on their information. One of them would be the Okies, so people from the Midwest, from that Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas area, moving to California, or heavens forbid, staying there in dust and every grossness you could think of with locusts and things. Or you could also draw on your information from last Thursday of living here in Maine.
Right, so we want you to take the information that you've learned, the readings, the videos, and write about the experience you had during the Great Depression and how the New Deal changed your life. You only have to pick one perspective. You don't have to write about all four of them. You just pick one and do your best. That's all we're asking.
Yep. And what we're going to be asking is for those 25 minutes on Monday, today, and Wednesday. Just write for those 25 minutes. If you're hooked by your story, go ahead and feel free to keep writing. But we would like you guys to have a story, a narrative about how a person may have lived, a fictional person may have lived during the Great Depression.
Yep. So that's what we're looking at. If you have further questions, shoot us a message. What we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the quarantine rules and kind of the stock market, economics, kind of how things have changed because of COVID-19 and what it's doing to the world right now. It's a little bit different from what we've usually done, but we think it's important to kind of touch base so you guys can have some questions answered.
Yeah, so in my homeroom and a couple other homerooms on Team A, I'm not sure about Team B, but you guys, when we had classes like normal every day, we'd watch CNN 10 in the morning. I still highly suggest that, but if you haven't been, that's our purpose for today, is to kind of give you an update on what's happening here in Maine and the rest of the world. And we're filming this on Friday, April 2nd, so numbers might change by the time you watch this. But the big thing that just happened for today was our governor of Maine, Janet Mills, has, I want to get this right, has issued a stay healthy at home mandate.
Yep. We have officially been told it's no longer an ask, it's a tell that we need to stay home. Unless you are absolutely required to go somewhere, you've been told to stay home.
Right, and the word that's been thrown out there, not just in this state, but the rest of the country, is the word essential.
Right. Essential is like your business could not possibly function if you're not in the building at that exact moment. For example, right now we have the lunch staff and bus drivers delivering meals to everybody in the district. That's essential. A not essential service would be like if you're a professional golf coach. There you go. You're not considered essential. Sorry. For the sake of this stay at home order, you need to stay home.
Right, and what they're talking about with essential is there's a bunch of different things, but essentially, that
Yeah,
word essentially.
there you go.
Yeah, right there. What its main purpose is, if you don't need this to survive, it's not essential.
Right. You need to go to the grocery store because food is a requirement in life, if you haven't noticed yet. So you need to go to the grocery store. You don't necessarily need to go to Ulta.
A what?
Ulta. So they sell like beauty products and stuff.
Do you buy them yourself?
No comment. But you also don't need to go to, I don't know, GameStop would be another example.
They actually closed their doors, pretty sure, quite a while ago, almost a month ago at this point.
So basically, if you don't need to buy it to live, you don't need to go.
Yeah. So what we're looking at, like, also, and it's not just food; it's also cleanliness as well. So you look at Walmart. Yeah, you don't. They have the grocery store and there's the rest of the store, but you may not think about all of their their laundry and their soaps and things as being essential. But you're trapped at home. You're not supposed to go anywhere. You need those things to stay healthy as well.
Right. And also do your laundry. It is horrifying if you're not doing your laundry. Do your laundry. Yep, the word essential, like this also includes places like Lowe's. It includes other hardware stores. It includes, I just had one, like for a while now, Dick's Sporting Goods has been open. So I guess that kind of falls under that.
Gas stations are essential.
Yep. Oil companies considered essential.
Yeah, hardware stores, like you were saying, just in case something in your house breaks down. If your plumbing is out of whack, you're gonna need to go somewhere. At least someone's gonna need to be able to get supplies to fix your house. Garages, for example, are essential. Your car breaks down. If you are one of those people who are out in the medical field or wherever, and you need to go somewhere, those kind of garages, those car maintenance shops, those are still open.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind. Think of it as like, if you don't need it, don't go. Just do your best to stay home. It's no longer an ask, it's now a tell. Technically, if you were like walking up and down the streets of Newport with 15 people, the police could stop you and force you to go home. So
yeah, and not only that, I am going to get a little sidetracked here. Restaurants and places like that, a lot of them still are open, but you can't go into the store. You have to do a curbside pickup. So you'll call, place your order, you'll go get it, you'll call, say, hey, I'm here, and they'll bring your food out to you.
yeah,
But in the state of Maine, like Mr. Decker was just saying, before this stay healthy at home mandate, we were told not to have more than 10 people at a gathering in a home. But now they're actually kind of making that almost a law, where if you are doing something that's not essential, they can actually arrest you, put you in jail for a month, and give you $1,000 fine.
yeah.
Or it might even be
I think it's
6 months.
I think it's punish because of the law.
months.
It falls under. It's like 6 months, but 6
Yeah.
months is extremely unlikely. You would have to be really doing something wrong, like starting a riot or something, in order to get a 6-month jail sentence for this. So don't think you're gonna go get thrown in prison. But
Right.
follow the rules, stay home. I've heard that some of you haven't been really great about following it, so do your best. Also keep in mind they've instituted it's like a square footage rule. It's like a gas station can only have 5 people, and IGA can only have 50. Hannaford can have 75. Walmart can have 100. So places are having lines outside now. You can't just run straight into Hannaford like you used to be able to. They have to make sure that there are only a certain amount of people in the store.
And that's a problem too, because we are supposed to be social distancing, keeping ourselves away from people at about 6 feet distance, and having that line outside of a building, that's also caused some strife as well.
Yep. So just hopefully
Did I get that word correctly? Strife?
strife's a good term, yeah.
Oh man, I did. Look at that.
Yeah. So hopefully you've been following the rules anyway, and you've kind of planned for this. I think it's been pretty clear that we are going in this direction. So for the month of April, we're being told to stay inside, and by the time you're allowed to go out again, it's gonna be May. So
Well, it's gonna be May.
yeah, that was a good instinct joke slipped in there.
It's
So
not Backstreet Boys.
no, isn't it? It's gonna be me. Yeah, it's Justin Timberlake. Uh, that's instinct. So we're gonna touch on kind of this national scale issue, stock market and economics. Maybe not the most fun topic,
No,
but
very
if
important.
you have family that invests heavily in stocks, they're probably not super excited about how that's going right now.
No, we were almost at, so for the Dow Jones, we were almost at 30,000 a couple months ago, and now we're down, hovering right around 21,000. It's kind of staying, right around that mark. It hasn't really gone up too much. It hasn't really gone down a whole lot, but that's substantial. That's an R word we're afraid to use, Mr. Decker.
Yeah, that R word we've been afraid of since like 2007, 2008, recession. And it's a weird one because in 2008, it was because the housing market burst. And it's a very like tangible thing. You can say, all right, like we were making bad home loans. It makes sense that eventually we're going to realize that it wasn't working and things went badly. It wasn't necessarily everybody's fault, but I mean, there was a definite cause. Global pandemic's a hard thing to kind of kind of prepare for.
Yeah, I mean, you can have your CDC prepare all you want, but until that moment hits, it's kind of difficult to figure out how best to combat something like this.
Right. So there are a lot of people are saying, once this is all over, it gets better because it's not like anything specifically went wrong. It's just, you know, the market's taking a downturn because people just are not working. I mean, we have, what is it, 6.6 million people filing for unemployment?
Yeah, in the span of 2 or 3 days, we've had 6.6 million people file for unemployment. We've had 10 million jobs just kind of disappear. Um, and that's, yeah, and it's just crazy to see these numbers happening.
Yep, it's a hard thing to process, and it feels like kind of a lot's going on, but if we keep doing what we're supposed to, then it will get better. Um,
And if you, I'm just sorry, I'm going to
yeah,
interrupt you
go
here.
for it.
If you look at that 6.6 million, our total population here in the United States is about 360, 370 million people. So that's about 2% of our total population in the span of less than a week filing for unemployment. That is substantial.
Yeah, definitely substantial, but like I said, theoretically, if we keep doing what we're supposed to, it's going to get better. In the meantime, the price of gas, price of oil has dropped a lot. Just like plane tickets have gone way down. A lot of stuff has become a lot cheaper because of COVID-19.
Yeah. I'm a little older than you, Mr. Decker. I think 5 years.
Something like that.
I just turned 30. I mean, I look like I'm 50. You look like you're 17. Um, but when I was in high school, about the age you look, I remember gas being, buck 76, and I haven't seen that since, that was 12 years ago. So it's kind of crazy the differences that something like this can make.
Yeah, on the flip side, my first job in high school was as a gas station attendant, and I remember gas getting to $4 a gallon here in Maine. So hopefully we kind of stay on the low end of that. We're going to wrap this up by talking about the stimulus package. $2.2 trillion. Don't ask me where we got it, but it's a $2.2 trillion stimulus package. Actually, you can't ask me. It came from us. It's being paid for
Right.
by taxpayers. But it's kind of basically getting kicked back to us. If basically what it means is every adult that's not a college student and filed taxes, unless you're a senior citizen who's getting it anyway, is going to get $1,200 as long as you made less than $75,000 a year.
Right, and the idea for that is a lot of those people have fallen on the hard times. A lot of those people are part of that 6.6 million people who just in the last week have filed for unemployment. 10 million jobs gone in the span of a week or so. a lot of that money is going to for those people, and that's specifically to help pay bills or help buy groceries or whatever else in an emergency you may need some extra help with.
Right. Also, each child in the household under, I think it's 16, is going to get $500 sent to the parents. So that will also go to help. So each adult's getting 1,200. Each child is going to be like they're going to be responsible also for $500. So that will theoretically help kind of alleviate some of the stress that's here. So that's all I've got.
That's all I've got.
Anything to add?
No.
Cool. So that's what we got. We'll have more next week. I think that's going to be a one video week this week, and we'll do something else. Maybe we'll go live or something in order to talk about problems or the social studies work. So make sure you're getting your work done and follow the rules in terms of the new quarantine rules. And that's all I got.
And I'm Mr. Jewett.
I'm Mr. Decker. Signing off.